Real quick, just wanted to remind everybody to follow me on Twitter. The link is in the description. I'd really appreciate it. Come over, say hi, and anyways, back to your regularly scheduled video. Alright, so we got to see a look at Dwayne Haskins for the first time in a uniform that isn't the Washington football team uniform. I guess technically he wore the Washington Redskins uniform as well, but you know what I mean. Now he's with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I figured it'd be a good idea to make a video talking about what he did well, what we saw, what we could maybe learn from him. If you remember, he's someone who has played in preseason in his rookie season, and it was sort of hit and miss. He had a couple interceptions, also had a couple good throws. This game was a little bit different. He didn't have as much work to do, so a lot of it was literally just plays like this, where it's going to be zone coverage, and they have a pretty simple zone coverage beater on this play. So it's going to be, you have a single a tight end who's going to run deep, another receiver who kind of runs underneath, and the hope is that the tight end pushes the defender further back. You can just throw underneath and pick up some yards. It's a pretty simple play. And right when this play starts, you're going to notice that, okay, yeah, this is open, right? So you see that there is an opening right here. It was well executed by the Steelers, and Haskins doesn't have a ton of work to do here. It's a pretty simple play, and as you see, he makes it. I mean, and he got the ball there quickly, so he did everything right there. I'm not trying to discount what he did. I am just saying, though, that was a lot of his good plays were just stuff like that. Just him executing an offense, which is easier said than done, so I'm not going to completely badmouth and pretend like that is, you know, something that doesn't matter. But like on one like this, he had some good plays too. This was a good play in my opinion. This is something that it's interesting, and we saw a little bit of this, so we're going to talk about his mobility. I'm really going to highlight the edge rusher that you see on the screen, who had, you know, that block with the left tackle. That's the main thing you're going to want to watch. But this is an interesting play just with Haskins as a whole. Once this play starts, you notice that, so right here, containment has been given up. And one thing that Haskins is actually pretty good at is pocket presence. That's something that he does a pretty good job at. He does read this stuff well. He's not always the best pre-snap at like picking up blitzes and things like that, but in terms of when he's under pressure, he can read this pretty well. And what is interesting to me, though, and this is something that he's been good at in the past, so I'm not that interested in that. What's more interesting to me is how good of a job he's going to do at running. I mean, look at him. He kind of got wheels a little bit, and I feel like he's always been underratedly mobile. I feel like he's always been someone who can move and doesn't really get much credit for it. However, he looks a little bit faster there, and maybe that's just one play, small sample size, all of that stuff, and I don't know, but he also looks a little bit slimmer. I don't know if that's true or not. It could just simply be he's wearing black, so it looks slimmer. I don't know, but he looks a little bit in better shape, and that would be a good sign for someone who has had issues of work ethic to, if he has lost weight and gotten faster, that's a good thing. Now, something like this is another play I would say that is, I think, kind of an example of something we saw a good amount throughout his night. So it's going to be man coverage. It's actually a blitz right here, and you see the route that's Haskins is going to want to throw to. It's to the tight end. It's a curl route past the first down marker because it is 3rd down and 5, so you need the first down here. And as you see, there is not really going to be much separation. Haskins tries to just give his tight end a chance, and he did. I mean, he gave his player a chance, and he wasn't able to make the catch. And Haskins did this a few times. There was a go route where he did something similar. So giving your player a chance is a legitimate thing you want to do in football if you're a quarterback. You know, not everything is going to be throwing to a wide open guy. Sometimes you got to give a guy an opportunity to make a tough catch, especially in the NFL. He did that well, I thought, and the numbers might not be as good as what probably was the case because he did make some throws that he should have made and it just didn't really work out. There was also some stuff like this, so what's going to happen here is it is zone coverage. It's a cover 2 zone, and there's 2 routes who are going to be kind of deeper routes. I'm not exactly sure what these routes are because there's no all 22 footage. All we have is the broadcast footage, but what's going to happen on this play, and the main thing I want to watch, is how Haskins goes through his progressions. Watch how number 3 for Pittsburgh, Dwayne Haskins, is going to fake the handoff, and he steps up in the pocket well. Again, the pocket presence is good. Does he always pick up the blitz? Not necessarily. At least he hasn't done that in his time in Washington. But here, good pocket presence. He looks downfield and just isn't going to love what he sees. Again, I don't know if that's the right call or not because I can't see it. One thing I would kind of say, though, there's a positive and a negative. I think going to a check down here is probably a positive. Again, I don't know for a fact because I can't see, but the fact that he's willing to, you know, go to a next progression is a good thing. The thing I don't love is watch how quick he's going to go from looking at the check down to making the throw. I mean, it's instantaneous. He looks over and throws at the same time. And that's just I would like to see him look and then make the throw, because that got him in trouble in Washington, was he sometimes made decisions too quickly, which resulted in turnovers and things of that nature. So it's maybe a nitpick, but a small thing that we have seen become a big thing in Haskins' career so far, and maybe something for Pittsburgh to work on, as luckily for Haskins, he has this extra preseason game, and hopefully he's going to make the most of it. One last play. This is another one you could argue was, it's a bit nitpicky, but I would say that this was a negative, although not a massive negative. So what's going to happen on this play is it's going to be kind of a pick play. The route that I've circled at the end there, that's where Haskins is going to eventually try and make this throw. That's how this works. Haskins also is going to be on a rollout, so he's going to be off balance while making this throw. It's a very similar play to, if you remember the anything is possible, the Chad Henne play with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Cleveland Browns playoff game. This is a similar type play. Haskins takes the snap, he is going to roll out, makes this throw off balance, and it is not caught. It should have been caught for sure, but it was also a bit behind. I think that's fair to say. I don't think it was a horrible throw, but you kind of have to make a perfect throw to get a touchdown there. Typically inside the 5, you're going to have to make a perfect throw to get a touchdown, and it wasn't a perfect throw, although again, should have been completed and should have still maybe had a chance to get a touchdown. So yeah, I mean, his final line was 8 for 13 for just 54 yards. I mean, that's not great. Mason Rudolph, for example, was 6 for 9, nice, with a 84 yards. So he was, much better yards per attempt wise. Haskins was under 5 yards per attempt, which is, the around the NFL podcast guys, call that the Blaine Gabbert zone of when you're getting under 5 yards per attempt. And a lot of that is he did take some checkdowns. Some of it, though, was he gave his receivers chances and they just didn't convert on those chances. That was absolutely a real part of it. So I'm not completely giving up hope on Haskins by any means. I think that there were some promising signs, but you clearly see why you need more than just one preseason game, because after this, he has not shown enough just yet to say, you know what, he's earned a backup spot. To me, clearly, Mason Rudolph is the backup quarterback at this point. However, Haskins, I think, again, we know the potential. We all saw him light it up in college. You can even see a little bit why he was able to do well in college in this game, but he's got some work to do if he's going to get a job, quite frankly. If he's going to be one of the guys other than maybe a practice squad guy, if he's going to actually get a spot on a roster, he's probably going to have to hope that Pittsburgh, either he really shows up in these next 4 games or just that Pittsburgh goes with 3 quarterbacks, because those are probably his 2 best options. So, some good, some bad. That's what I thought. A real mixed bag for Dwayne Haskins, but even the bad wasn't bad. Just the good wasn't particularly amazing either. So that's kind of the concern right now. So that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. What were your thoughts on Dwayne Haskins' first game? Always love hearing from you. Not first game, but first game as a Pittsburgh Steeler. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.